ego, of course, being the mind-made sense of self, the me that always is needy and insufficient and always feels there's something not right here. It's okay, but there's something still missing. My life isn't complete. Can't be it. Or it feels there's something. Either it feels there's something lacking, or there's something wrong. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the mind says there's something wrong here. No, it's an underlying, unspoken feeling or assumption that there's something wrong. Very common. You might, if you're very, very alert, you might detect it in yourself still occasionally, that you walk around life and there's always, there are moments, of course, that are fine, and then quickly again, something it's not complete. It never is, because and that sense of incompleteness does not arise from conditions. It arises, it's a state of consciousness that's incomplete. Because conditions are always changing, they can never bring you to any kind of completion. No matter what you go or what you achieve or where you go, you never find that sense of, I made it. If you do, you'll see it's a delusion very quickly. So the delusion comes to people occasionally. I've made it, and then you see, oh, this thing that I thought was my great achievement that made me happy has created a whole new set of problems. That wasn't meant to happen. So the making it is already the source of new problems. So life never leaves you alone, and it's not in itself, it's never that satisfying. Sorry. It's not satisfying if you're looking to it as your source of satisfaction, then it's not satisfying. If it is satisfying, however, if you are not looking to the conditions of your life for your source of satisfaction, because the satisfaction is in the presence, in the beingness, in the aliveness that you sense within yourself, the essence, identity, at this very moment. That is the satisfaction. And then the conditions of your life and whatever your life situation is actually quite enjoyable. Not that there are no problems. Yes, challenges are, but since you do not demand that life should be free of challenges and should really be here to make you happy, if you don't demand that anymore, then it's actually fine. The happiness is prior to all that. The true happiness is prior to things around you that come and go, or that you achieve or not achieve. So in a way to become tired of life, because you see it's, whatever I do, it's not, nothing seems to be working. Well, it's not because it's a wrong, erroneous expectation. And then, miraculously, things actually improve externally. But first comes, find yourself first. That's what it's all. Krishnamurti never had really a spiritual teacher. It just happened to him. And I believe it didn't happen when he was chosen as a young boy by the Theosophical Society. The Theosophical Society was very popular early 20th century, founded in England. They had branches in India. They wanted to bring spirituality back to the West and bring Eastern spirituality, the West, and they were very much into channeling spirits and so spirit guides. And they had been told that they had to look for a vehicle for the future Buddha, Maitreya, or the Christ. So they got this message from their spirit guides. So the founders of Theosophy, and so one of the men who was in charge of Theosophy, he was in India, in their branch in India, and he walked around the beach, and he saw this boy walking on the beach, maybe 12 years old or like that. And he looked at the boy, and he said, "This boy has an incredible aura." He could see auras. And then he called others from the Theosophical Society and said, "Look at him." He said, "Yeah, maybe." But other people didn't see it at all because the boy looked so stupid. The boy looked like kind of a completely vacant mind. But he insisted, no, he may be the vehicle for the Maitreya. We can prepare him, and in 10 years or so, the Maitreya will come into him. That was their belief. And so they took, that was Krishnamurti, the boy. They took him, they had negotiations with his parents, he was finally adopted by them. They brought him to England. And then he was in all the newspapers already. The future Buddha is here, has arrived at Charing Cross Station. And then they founded an order for him, the Order of the Star of India, whatever it was called. There was properties, there was a huge castle they bought in the Netherlands, and Krishnamurti was given an education with private teachers, always surrounded by wealthy English men and many women. And he was always dressed impeccably, went to the best tailors in London, and then when he was in his, I believe, his late 20s, the moment was getting closer when the Buddha would come into him, and one day he suddenly, in a speech he gave to a big congregation, he said, "This is it. I'm walking out of here. I don't want anything to do with this anymore. I don't want to be the Maitreya. The truth is a pathless land. There is no way to it." And he walked away from it all. And then, of course, everybody was totally disappointed. The Theosophical Society, their lives had collapsed. Oh my God, what happened? But a few people kind of still were around him. And then his decisive shift came to Krishnamurti when his brother died of an illness fairly young. And then there was suddenly a surrender that happened in him. And then he started giving talks on a small scale, no longer as the great Maitreya, just as a person. And so the paradox is that he became a world teacher because he had denied, the original intention was to make him into a world teacher, but he denied that, and then he became a world teacher. But never claiming any kind of power for himself. So see if you can invite that state of that spacious state of presence into your life as much as possible in daily life, where thinking subsides and there's just a space of clarity, of awareness. That's the most important thing in your life. Nothing is more important than that. It's amazing that that's still very much a secret, in the sense that nobody seems to know that. Very few people seem to know that that's even possible. But it is for you, otherwise you wouldn't be here. There may be still a few million on the planet for whom it's not yet possible, but that's fine. We have to start somewhere. So it can be expressed in a negative way. Most of the time Krishnamurti uses negative teaching, like the Buddha. This is the least negative. By negative I mean he does not give you anything inspiring to believe in. He just wants to remove the obstacles to that state of presence or awareness, so you become aware of the obstacles in you. Like the Buddha. The Buddha didn't say, the kingdom of heaven is here now, or whatever. Or the Buddha just talked about emptiness, which is a negative thing. It's not, you can't believe in emptiness. You can believe in the kingdom of heaven. And of course, most likely you think it's somewhere, but not here. So it becomes something very inspiring, more inspiring than emptiness. We can't believe in it. I believe in emptiness. It's not inspiring. That's why we call that negative teaching. It just removes everything from you. But emptiness, of course, is just one word, which does not, there's no word that absolutely embraces the totality of it. Obviously, he speaks of presence. So when I say presence, presence is a positive statement. When I say the freedom from thinking is a negative statement.